Hello guys and welcome. So I want to talk to you about this Nansen report that reveals that Terra caused the staked Ethereum depeg, but also what's going on in the wider world of crypto lending. BlockFi are in trouble, and also we're seeing 3AC are in more hot water even a day after they were put into liquidation by the British Virgin Islands. So this is not looking good, but I will share the news with you. So let's jump straight into this. So like I said, I'm going to be talking about the Nansen report, but first things first, I want to mention about how Singapore authorities reprimand 3 Arrows Capital for providing false information. Now, they did this on 3 different occasions, not just one, not two, but 3. So firstly, they've been reprimanded for providing false information. Now, this is because, one, in 2013, the Singapore authorities, Monetary Authority of Singapore, who in terms of, regulators are actually really quite strict and well respected. Anyway, 2013, they said, look, you're registered as long as you don't have more than 250 million Singapore dollars as assets under management. AUM is what it's abbreviated to. Now, they broke this threshold in July 2020, September 2020, and between November and August. That's 3 times, guys. Not good. It also reprimanded it for its failure to notify changes of directorships and shareholdings, and also failing to notify the regulator regarding the common shareholder of 3AC offshore entity that Suzu, who is the head, he's also the director of 3AC. So this is, like I said, it's another nail in the coffin for 3AC. Now add this into addition that a couple of days ago, we had a court order from British Virgin Islands that placed 3AC into liquidation. So it's not looking good for the for old 3 Arrows Capital here, unfortunately. But just sticking onto this theme before we get into what caused all of this contagion with Celsius, with BlockFi, with any of these kind of like lending platforms, let's have a look. FTX seeks to acquire troubled crypto lender BlockFi. Now, I believe they actually bailed out BlockFi recently. Yeah, exactly, $250 billion. But FTX are still looking to acquire BlockFi outright. Now, bear in mind, FTX are on a bit of a spending spree right now, trying to buy up different brokerages, trying to buy up different lenders. So, it is happening quite a lot. Now, obviously, people don't really have money, if I'm honest. It's not looking great, all in all. But I just want to quickly, hang on, I've got a Voyager. I've got Voyager on the end of my tongue. I had to quickly look it up. It was Voyager that I believe received 750 million plus, I think, 19,000 Bitcoin from FTX. So FTX are just bailing people out left, right, and center. Now they're acting a bit like a federal bank, like the Fed, kind of just bailing companies out, but obviously the company's going to be in the debt of these guys. But how long can FTX go ahead and do this? We don't know. But BlockFi has refused to comment on the market rumors. But it's, as we know, faced severe financial headwinds amid a significant crypto market downturn. So among the first, the firm was among a number of industry companies that announced cost-saving measures such as layoffs. Sources primarily told that BlockFi was seeking a fresh round of capital at a lower valuation. And so when you see companies do this, trying to really move into, okay, let's get new funding at a lower round, they seem very, very desperate. And this is really not what, a company wants. Or if you're investing in that company, this was the first step that Celsius took. This is the first step that most companies take, cutting costs. But then guess what? They go bankrupt. This is not what we want. But how did this all start? Nansen report, they revealed that, like I said, Terra caused the destabilization. Now, this is from what's called Recursive Farming, recursive farming, keep that in your mind. Basically, what these guys are going to explain is recursive farming. So let's start off at the beginning. Lido Finance. Let's call them, Lido Finance. You give them 1 Ethereum, they give you 1 staked Ethereum. It's like a nice little, let's go this way. Like that. But when you give them the Ethereum, they give you a token of staked Ethereum, still an ERC20 token. But guess what? You can't get your Ethereum back until after the 2.0 Ethereum merge has happened. Okay, so you basically don't have your Ethereum. You got it, you own it, but you don't have it. But what you can do is you have a staked Ethereum. But what if you take this staked Ethereum and then you lend it out on a lending platform? You could do that. You could go to something like Aave, and you can post your staked Ethereum as collateral on these sites such as Aave, and then you can borrow more Ethereum. But guess what you're going to do with that Ethereum? You're going to give it back to Lido, and then you're going to get more staked Ethereum out. So you end up with like a ton of staked Ethereum. So the yield loop multiplies. Also, the reason why investors will post their staked Ethereum is because on Aave give you a nice little bit of money. So you can keep taking your ETH, you get staked ETH, and then you give it to Aave, and Aave give you money. So you're making money on that staked ETH, which actually is a very good idea. It's kind of like borrowing money off one bank, taking that, and then putting it into another bank, and then they say, okay, cool, you can only get 80%. Then you say, all right, doesn't matter. And then you keep just going to one bank to another, and you get interest on every single bank. It's a little bit like that. It's not exactly like that, but stay with me here. So the yield loop multiplied the ETH staking rewards, but puts the investor at risk should 1 Ethereum not equal 1. Bloody, here we go, guys. Let me just have a look. Curve. Here we go. It's not looking great. Is it staked? What are we on? No. So if you put your staked ETH, what are you going to get back? You're going to get 0.96. So it only becomes a problem if this happens. Oh, that won't happen, will it ever? No. Lido also promoted this strategy via a Twitter post, as you see here. You supply, you borrow, you restake, you then, you then supply this again, and then you borrow, and this is it's like a little circle, a circle of death, not quite death. But so Nansen highlighted that during the UST depeg crisis, BETH, which is a wrapped bridged version, let's move on from that, a wrapped bridged version of staked ETH on Terra, moved their tokens back to the Ethereum mainnet amid fears of the network's stability. So there was 616,000 almost of, I'm going to call it bridged Ethereum. It's a wrapped bridged version of staked Ethereum on Terra. Very, very complicated, and was unwrapped back to stake ETH during this happened. It's this staked ETH that Nansen claimed was then sold back to Ethereum and started the selling pressure on the staked ETH / ETH. This one, the peg, this little peg. On this, as an increase of X amount of staked ETH was added to the pool. So that's why there's so much extra staked ETH than there is normal ETH. And this is why the pool is out of balance. So a large net outflow ensued as investors became worried about the situation. And Nansen said that 3 Arrows Capital was one of the largest recipients of staked ETH from Curve. 3 Arrows outflows reportedly totaled almost 1,000 staked ETH and 500 almost wrapped Ethereum. Then we have, so as the price of Ethereum went down, Nansen stated addresses we flagged as Celsius and 3 Arrows Capital were the biggest withdrawers, removing almost 800 million worth of liquidity combined. And this is where this, guys, is a liquidity pool. You're supposed to have 50% Ethereum, 50% staked Ethereum. So when I give you my Ethereum, there's some staked Ethereum that I can take out. But if I have I don't know, let's say I want to redeem, if I've got over 145 million staked Ethereum, I can't put it in and get the same amount back because there's just not enough Ethereum for me to swap that with. But anyway, you can see this. I did go through this in actually one of my previous videos. Was going through. You can see all the kind of the quantity. You can see who's moving money out of where. But yeah, this is kind of, we've got over the worst of it now. But this is obviously what happened around about the first of this month and kind of caused this massive outflow. But I just want to get to the conclusion. Report concluded that Celsius had a liquidity issue, obviously, and they also cut everybody's withdrawals and swaps and transfers. It's not looking good. And it's need, obviously, you know, they need to sell and transfer staked Ethereum because it's no good to them. They can't give it back to Lido and get money back to pay the people who they owe because you can't do anything with staked Ethereum. So it led to a domino effect. They start selling it, even they'll sell it at a massive loss just to make sure they get Ethereum back. And this further caused the DPEG to go even worse. So Nansen stated that 3AC is most likely reducing its risk and accepting its losses. In contrast, Celsius reduced its risk and their health ratio is still decent in the context of things, as long as there isn't a sudden downswing of 30% in the prices of their collateral. As long as there isn't a down price of 30%. Let's have a look at this. We're not far off, boys. I don't really want to, you know. Let's not ring the alarm bells too quickly, but look, not great. Not great. Anyway, look, that's my overview. Just wanted to go through. The Nansen report is actually really good. They come out with some very good reports. So if you want to follow them, I recommend you do. But yeah, we need to understand, you know, there's this massive kind of cascading effect of, you know, one person's in trouble. Currently, FTX and Binance are kind of supporting the whole ecosystem, arguably, because they're just propping up, giving out loans, and also, you know, kind of buying a lot of these companies out. But anyway, keep an eye on that. 3 Hours Capital still kind of going, but, you know, the end is nigh, shall we say. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you later, and make sure you stay tuned for more good